Hey, good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing? Got hat hair tonight. Had orientation for one of our kids' school tonight as we're moving closer and closer to school starting and the fall, and we're just getting settled back into life back home after our trip. So, just wanted to jump on tonight. If you haven't had a chance to join in live with us on what I call Wisdom from the Recliner, this is volume 16, and I just hashtagged tonight as life because I want to talk about life and share a little bit about what we're facing in regards to life right now. Hey Darcy, how you doing? Nice to see you on here. I'm glad we got to interact some earlier on Facebook and maybe put your mind at ease a little bit about your blood test and stuff. Hey Gwen, enjoyed your video. I didn't get to watch all of it, but I know a lot of people are being blessed by what you're sharing. Thank you so much for the compliment. I'm just always humbled and I guess just overwhelmed with gratitude that I am doing so well. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. It's like, of course, I take credit for so much that I've done, but I also know there's no exact science to this. None of us are bulletproof. There's no guarantees. And last time I checked, we're all checking out of this life at some point. So maybe others haven't seen the results they've wanted, but that doesn't mean that they're any less of a human than I or anyone who may have gotten some greater physical results. So thanks, Gwen. Hey, Elizabeth. Hello, Mike from Canada, my friend from the north. Boy, we've been interacting on Facebook now for a really long time. Probably since the first year I think I got on Facebook, which was 2008. So it's exciting. Anyway, so I was thinking about kind of what's happened this week as we've gotten home from the Montana trip, and kind of an interesting dynamics occurred for us. You know, all of a sudden in this last, 3, 4, 5 weeks, I've just gotten substantially better. And we knew that finding the answer and solving the fluid buildup problem was in essence going to cause me to go leaps and bounds towards Wellville, if you will. And we knew I kept saying, Caroline, I'm going to be like a new man, and I am. And so it's interesting what's all of a sudden happened. All of a sudden we're being faced with almost like a new life or a different life, and all of a sudden we've got all these new decisions on the table that weren't there like a month or a month and a half ago, because I simply couldn't do most things, even physically. And in a weird way, like when you are fighting for your life, when you have stage 4 cancer, your life actually becomes extremely simple because it's very clear, like it's crystal clear what is the priority, and it's healing and living and getting through stage 4 cancer. But an interesting thing is starting to happen as I progress and as I get better and as I'm physically able to do more things. There's this gravitational pull that is so evident in our society today, and it's options and busyness, and you could do this and you can do that and go here and go there. And what was such a simple life, even though it was hard and difficult and challenging, and yes, it was complex still in some ways, all of a sudden becomes even more complex. So you're thinking, man, this is going to be so great. I'm feeling better. You're so excited about healing. And of course I am. But I don't know that we were prepared or that we quite realized the dynamic of how that actually could create some stress, and in some ways could actually make life a little more challenging and difficult, as we now have more things on the table that weren't on the table just a few weeks ago. And I love what you just said, Julie. You're right. It's always about baby steps. And I was reminding Caroline as we were discussing and visiting on the phone, as she was driving to pick up the kids. They had stayed at Meemaw and Pawpaw's for a few hours while we went to this orientation for parents tonight. And I just said, I think there's a feeling sometimes like we've got to get somewhere tomorrow, or we get a little tired or worn down, or we see a light at the end of the tunnel and we want something to be done within a matter of seconds or minutes or moments or days. And we have to keep remembering that this is about living life. It's a lifestyle. It's about long-term change. And man, that's exciting, Mike, and congratulations, buddy. Woo! Nothing better than being a dad, man. You're going to love it, and you'll be a great dad, no doubt. I'll be believing the best for you and your bride and that new baby coming in. Man, Lisa, I love you so much. I sure enjoy interacting with you on Facebook. My life, went to another level of richness the night you drove, brought me those kits for my catheter. I'm sure you remember, and blessed us in so many ways with everything you brought us, and then just the love that you continue to pour out. You are so correct. Stress is a big factor. What is the single most effective thing you've done in your opinion? Well, I think, Lisa, what kind of comes to mind, and I'll be glad to just kind of interrupt my own self as I share thoughts on life tonight. We can make this interactive, and if you want to post a question like Lisa did and we can just have discussion, that would be great. But I think it's really the same thing I just did today and I just did tonight. When I begin to sense and feel the pace of my life increasing or picking up and creating that stress or that anxiety, I just kind of call time out. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that in my healing journey. And I think I just did it again today. And we start evaluating everything going on, and we start saying no to this and no to that, and that's not going to be important, and we'll do that at another time. And no, we're not going to be involved there. And we start simplifying our life, because we're no longer interested in having a gazillion activities going on. We're more interested in having space to sit and read a book with our kids than we are have them be the next future D1 athlete. And don't take that as a slam, because if one of our kids finds a passion or falls in love with a sport and they want to play it at a super competitive level, we're open to that too. So I'm not, please don't take anything as right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying, our perspective now is we want to keep a life that keeps giving us space to do nothing, to just sit, to just enjoy a meal together in the evening time, for an example, or whatever. And so I think what's effective, Lisa, is I can just call time out. We can slow down, and we can realize that we don't have to say yes to that. We don't have to cater to those people. We don't have to give in to society's demands or impressions or thoughts or any of that. We are in control of our lives in the sense of what we choose to do, how busy we are, what we say yes and no to, and we have to keep going back to, I'm okay because I'm okay, and I'm secure because I know what the creator of the universe, I know what God says about me. See, guys, our identity as a human being either allows us to call time out, to slow down, and to not have to keep putting ourselves in harm's way, or it does just the opposite if it's tied to our performance or something we're involved in, or this feeling of obligation or need for validation or affirmation. The real question I ask myself all the time is, can I just be okay with Ryan if I'm doing nothing? Can I just be okay with Ryan if I'm not getting affirmation from others? Can I just be okay with Ryan if I'm not doing what people would consider making a difference or doing something grand with my life? Can I still just like me and feel good about me and be happy? Because if I'm always needing to either be involved in something or hear something or have something in order to feel good about me, then I'm really setting myself up to hit high levels of stress and to be really unhappy because it's just bound to let me down. And I think where I'm at in my life is I'm constantly being reminded that I don't need a certain outcome in order to prove that something is already true. I want to say that again. I no longer need a certain outcome to occur in order to prove what I know is already true. That has been a thought that has absolutely transformed and changed my life in such a positive way. Because I think so many times we get these images in our heads and in our minds of what needs to occur, and at the subconscious level we are needing it to prove something either about us or for us. And too often planet Earth has a way of throwing curveballs or tends to take us in another direction, and sometimes it could have even been better, but we can't see it because that image that we had developed in our mind that we thought had to be a certain way doesn't come about, and then that can create doubt or disbelief or lack of security or a misunderstanding of where we're at or who we are, and it could send people into depression or be harmful in their marriage relationship or their relationships with their children or even in their workplace. And I just think it's really important. So I want to say it one more time. I'm no longer at a place in my life where I need a certain result or I need a certain outcome or I need a certain circumstance to occur in order to prove what I already know is true. I just believe what is true, and I'm comfortable with kind of what is coming at me and how life unfolds. And so therefore, I don't need it to, I get ideas still of how I kind of would like something to work out, but I'm really not that devastated if something works out a little different. And man, I've just found living in those unforced rhythms of grace is a much better way to live than the way I tried to before, where I was forcing things and trying to, again, create a certain result or a certain outcome or a certain circumstance. And if I couldn't, man, it was like, well, I'm going to die trying, because I thought I needed to have that to validate me, or I needed to have that to affirm something that I was doing or a thought that I was having. And really, it just created a miserable life. And I found myself in a place that really wasn't that great years ago. So as I've come in to learn more about grace and unconditional love and the mysteries of this planet, and I am 36 years old now, and like I say all the time, I have more questions than I've ever had. I have fewer answers than I've ever known, and yet I'm experiencing the most peace I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I just embrace this mystery. So anyway, I told Caroline tonight, before I got on here, I said, I think I just want to have a day with you here real soon where let's just put our phones off. Let's tell our immediate family, hey, we're not even going to have our phones on today. Let's just kind of eliminate distractions. We'll have the kids taken care of, and let's just talk life. let's just reevaluate this new phase we've kind of stepped in, because yes, I'm way better, but I still have some work to do. There's still some healing to occur. I want to see this all the way to the finish line. There still is some evidence, obviously, that there is still some cancer in my body. And we trust and believe and know that that is going to continue to heal and be gone. I still have to stay focused on a daily protocol, and I still want to continue with the therapies and the treatments we know are working. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I want to get truly to a place of optimal health, and I want to be able to really fully live life. I'm still having some pain in different areas of my abdomen where there's been a lot of trauma, and so those continue to need to be addressed. We went over an extensive amount of blood work that I just had done yesterday with my naturopath, Dr. Taylor, today, and we still have ways to go. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of improvement, and there was a lot of good news, but there's still some areas of concern. And so we want to make sure that we continue to make that a priority, and that we continue to be okay with the fact that we're not fully where we intend to be, want to be, and will be, and we want to live in the moment, in this present place, and not try to escape the spot or the moment along this journey, this adventure with cancer that we're at, and just continue to enjoy each and every phase. And yes, we have a vision for where we truly want to be, but we're not going to let that hijack our happiness or our joy or anything at all. We are where we are. It is what it is, and we want to fully embrace that. And I think that's going to be important, and it's going to be key. And so we just said, well, we're going to have to evaluate a lot of things. So I just am so grateful that I feel, after being with Caroline for 20 years, married to her for 16, that we could recognize that that's something we need to do, and we will do, and that we are a married couple who is in love. And yeah, I think you're right, Elizabeth. My wife, my mother-in-law, and my mom, and several other people truly think that my hair is actually growing in. I sure hope so, because I got like a bald spot right here and kind of the receding hairline going on here. And I am jealous of those men out there, that have this nice, incredible weave going on, even beyond age 36. So if this all comes back and I can look suave, yeah, that'd be great, right? So I hope you're right, Elizabeth. I hope all the ladies in my life are right. But yeah, I'm just so grateful that Caroline and I just choose to continue to do life together through the ups and the downs and things that are stressful and things that get put on our plate and the different phases of this crazy journey we're on. I don't know that we thought in the last few weeks, I think we were kind of in denial about my father. But, we've had to recognize that we're going to have to eliminate some other things off of our plate so we can have the extra time and space and energy to be able to help my parents out. My mom still works full time. It's very apparent now that my dad may not be able to drive anymore. He's probably not going to be able to start teaching next week and go back to work full time. And we've got to address his brain cancer, this glioblastoma, and we're taking some serious steps. There's a very good chance that he's going to be going to Germany, and that Caroline and I would need to go with him. And so that takes effort and time and energy, and obviously we've got everything that we've already got on our plate just with me continuing to heal, and we want to make sure we keep that environment extremely healing, and that I'm getting plenty of rest, that I continue to be able to do the things each day that set me up for success. And yeah, Kitty, he's got brain cancer for sure for the third time, and he's starting to digress, and the signs are becoming very evident, and the symptoms are just so obvious. And they're meeting with my naturopath here in Tulsa, and he has started treatments, but he's going to need some intervention much greater than even what Dr. Taylor can provide him here. But he's directing us, he's guiding us, and Caroline and I are right here to help as much as we can, without it obviously taking away with what we have to do for me and my health as well. So, we are going to need lots of love and support and financial help. And all I know is that amazing things always happen to us and me. And somehow, some way, we've always just been provided for. Somehow, some way, we've always had what we needed along this path that I've been on these last 10 months. And I just trust that that's going to continue. And of course, we'll be given more specific updates as we can. We'll be sharing people what our needs are as we learn of them. And as we know more information, then definitely we'll go there. Yes, Elizabeth, we have and we are. And you can only imagine all the different things we're starting to do for my dad, work on oils, IVs, diet. We're looking into cannabis oil. It's all on the table, but it takes time. And again, it takes a lot of effort and energy. And Caroline is being asked to kind of guide them too, but she's already obviously got me on her plate, plus we have 3 young kids. So we just have to continue to receive grace, live in grace, and just keep the main thing the main thing. We are loved. God is with us. He's never going to leave us and forsake us. We don't have to have everything figured out tomorrow. We have more time than it feels like. And you know what? Things have a way of working out a lot of times, even when they seem out of our control. And we just choose trust over anxiety. And we are presented with those opportunities daily. And we will continue for the rest of our lives, all of us. Will we choose trust even when it feels like we can't trust, or will we choose to be anxious and fearful and allow that stress to invade our lives, which tends to only corrupt our decision making, and it seems to interfere with how the universe and us humans work together on things. So I just want to encourage all of us tonight, and I really believe that I'm talking to myself. Probably many of us need to call time out and just say, wait a second, and reevaluate. Calling a time out many a times can change the whole direction of the entire game, and we're in the game of life. I don't know. I just thank God. I thank God that that above and beyond all things, that I am in the mental state of mind that I'm in, that I know to slow down, to stop, to think, that I have the belief system that I do, that I have the attitude, and that I'm not carrying unnecessary baggage or bondage from an emotional standpoint, that I'm okay with Ryan. I'm in love with Ryan. I like Ryan. And I know God feels the same way about me. And it doesn't matter if I've responded to everybody on Facebook, or it doesn't matter if I've said anything profound. It doesn't matter if I speak in front of one person or 10,000. All those things are wonderful, and I hope to do them, love to do them, plan to do them. But even if I don't, I can still feel great about me. We have got to be set free from performance-based living. It's for the birds, folks, and it's a rabbit trail to a black hole that leads to nowhere but depression and frustration and stress and even anger. And the answer is I'm not who I am based on what I do or don't do. I'm not who I am based on my performance. I'm just not. And Elizabeth says, what a legacy you're leaving your kids. This will ever be a huge testimony to them that they will share with their friends as they grow up. Thanks, Elizabeth. Hey, Terry, nice to see you on here. Yes, Elizabeth, my ascites did subside. It's been over 5 weeks since the last time I had to have fluid drained out of my abdomen, so praise God for that. I am a new man, and I've just been able to be so much more physically active, and it's made a huge difference. So, amen, Patty. I guess you're amen in anything and everything or all that I'm saying tonight. So, like I say all the time, if it is to be, it's Jesus in me. He's the source of all truth and goodness, and He lives in me, and wisdom resides in me 24/7, and the same goes for you too. And when we're conscious of that, we can let go of being conscious of sinning all the time, or being conscious of our performance. I tell you, man-made religion and society, God, man, I mean, they want everything to be about performance. They want to nitpick everything. They want to analyze it to death. I mean, I truly feel for these athletes and for these actors and actresses. It's like, gosh, I mean, every move they make, every word they say, everything they do or don't do is just, I mean, on a global scale, is just picked apart. I don't even know how any of them can hardly function as good, solid human beings with the amount of analyzation that goes on. Do you need something, Arthur? What do you need, buddy? What? Well, we were the green team. I got a baseball game on in the background. Can you see over there? The green team. Can you wave hi to everybody? Arthur. Well, the green team was 8, and the other team was 6. Yeah, my kids, when they're with me, if we have any type of game on, they say, which team are we, Dad? You know, and they don't realize sometimes, like, it's all these different teams, and it's like highlights. Like, when it's the Cardinals, we're the red team, and they know that. Anyway, they're always trying to figure out, and they say it. They really mean, like, which team are you rooting for, Dad, or which one do you want? I guess I had a poor connection there for a second. Anyway, it's so cute, and they'll say, which team are we, Dad? And I'll tell them, hugs and kisses. Oh, I love you, son, so much. I see you tomorrow. Can you tell everybody good night? Good night. Love you, buddy. Huh? Hey, Addison. Can you say hello? Hi. Did you have a good day? Yeah. All right. You look tired, man. Hey, see you tomorrow, stud? Okay. Yeah, we leave in 1 week, buddy, for Chicago. Me and you, man. All right? No, they lost 7-0. That's my oldest son, Addison. Him and I'm going to take him with me next weekend when I'm in Chicago. Hopefully going to get to share and speak a couple of times, and we're going to get to mark something off our bucket list. Actually, we're going to get to go to a Cubs-Cardinals game. It's just so amazing that the Cardinals are in town. We've always wanted to go to Wrigley Field. I've never been there before, but we're diehard Cardinal fans, so we'll be at the rival team's stadium, but we'll be decked out in our Cardinal gear. Elizabeth, yeah, as soon as I have the details here very soon on locations, hopefully there's going to be a gathering on Friday and also maybe Saturday night next weekend. I'll obviously be posting them all over. It'll just be my son Addison and I. Caroline and the other 2 children will stay here in Tulsa. But really looking forward to next weekend, and I actually have another surprise of a little fun thing that I'm going to be doing with Addison. I'm really looking forward to that one-on-one time with him, because he leaves September the 15th actually for 8 weeks in Spain through his Spanish immersion school, which is going to be just a life-changing, altering, incredible experience. as a 10-year-old. He'll actually turn 11 while he's over there. He's gone from September the 15th until November the 9th. And he'll get, I'm like, man, I've never even been to Spain, you know. So that's really cool. And, you know, kids just, man, they just want our time. They just want to be with us and do things. And we've really been thinking about, you know, our life and our work and what we're going to do, you know, going forward to ensure that we truly have the time we want to have with our children. They're 10, 6, and 4, and you know what? The next decade is just going to go by like that, and they're going to be 20, 16, and 14, and we can't get that time back. I'm so thankful we're like aware of that, and we can actually be intentional about the direction we want our lives to go and ensure that Caroline is freed up to be a mom during this time, that she's freed up to just be a woman and a wife, that she's not overloaded or feeling obligated to do work or all these things that seem important or even seem like good things, but could easily then push away time with our children, or even just time for her and I to always connect as a married couple and to keep the flame going and to make sure that our relationship stays where we truly desire it to be. And how so many times trying to make a difference in the world or help other people or do all this good, isn't it crazy to think, but it actually could get in the way of a really healthy marriage. It could actually get in the way of raising really healthy kids. It could actually get in the way of even just our own health. It could get in the way of laughing or having fun. Isn't that crazy? Like, I don't know if we think about that sometimes, and maybe us super motivated, super ambitious, highly driven people need to be reminded and hear that, because I think it's easy to continue to say, oh, I'll get back to my marriage. Oh, I'll get back to my kids. Oh, I'll get back, you know, to these really important things like, oh, they'll understand. I've got this window of time, this moment. You know, we think about greatness and all this stuff society sells us on, and then the next thing you know, we've neglected something that really mattered to us, and we find ourselves in a rough spot. So I think it's good to keep having the perspective of what do we want to say yes to, what do we really want to say no to, and do we have the courage to do it and to actually follow through, even if someone thinks it's not a good choice or it's a poor decision. That's cool, Elizabeth, that your parents are from Spain, you're first generation. Awesome. Layla says, do you get treatment from a chiropractor? I do, actually. I go to Dr. Gallagher's. I try to go 4 days a week. He's open Monday through Thursday. I get on the Power Vibe machine, and then he adjusts me. And I think that's played a great role in my treatment. There was a stretch in there when I was dealing with the fluid and the ascites in the abdomen area, and I was very limited, and I really couldn't do that. I definitely couldn't lay down on a table and have him adjust me. He would try with me setting up, but it wasn't quite the same. But now that I'm back at a place where I can, I actually went twice this week, and I'm working on kind of dialing down, excuse me, my daily routine. And that is a plan to be a part of my ritual and my protocol, is that I'll go to the chiropractor Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday each week. So Elizabeth says, do you feel your alertness and thought process are clearer since the change in your nutritional lifestyle? I do, Elizabeth. I think my mind is more sharp today than it ever has been before. I think I'm thinking with the most clarity that I've ever thought before, and I do attribute some of that or a lot of that to what I'm eating, that I'm eating real food, that I'm eating food that loves me back, as my health coach Steve Factor says, and that I'm eating food that provides energy and is actually scientifically proven to help the brain function at the highest levels. And I also think going through what we've went through gives me such a perspective that I know it sounds crazy, but it's like cancer is like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It's like the greatest thing that ever happened to our family. And I can sit here and truly tell you that. Like, I'm not even sorry that I got cancer. I mean, I don't even feel bad about it. It sucks going through it, and it was hard, and it's no fun, and I don't necessarily wish it on anyone by any means, but I wish we could all have the perspective that going through it gives us. My life will never be the same. I fully embrace this opportunity to reevaluate, change, transform my life, all for the better, for it to be healthier in every area, from relationships to marriage to physically to what we eat to the decisions we make to how we interact and deal with people, to our lifestyle, to our kids' activities, to the choices we make for work, to the choices we make for our children's future, their schools. I mean, just all of it. I embrace it, and I am truly, honestly, no BS, no false humility. I'm just thankful. And yeah, I'm also thankful that hopefully the worst is behind us too, and that I don't have to get back to a place hopefully ever again where I'm suffering at a physical level, or that it's at a point where it, brings the kind of concern that it did for my wife Caroline at one point. Yeah, I don't ever want to deal with that again. And but it could happen. It's possible. It's planet Earth. There's no guarantees. Oh, Elizabeth, you're not taking over the talk. It's no problem at all. Yes, we do have shower filters over our showers, and actually we have an entire home water system that we're actually getting installed this week. I know Caroline's been talking to a plumber and someone who can help us actually get all that put in. We had bought it right before we went to Montana, and it's going to filter all the water in our entire home and get out all the fluoride and all the bad stuff. Caroline knows all those technical terms, but we'll no longer have to worry about when we're washing our hands or taking a shower, or even, God forbid, if we were to drink it. But, it's going to be filtered. It's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be reverse osmosis or something, so I better not say something I don't know for sure. But Caroline can give you all the details, and we can tell you who we bought it from and where we got it. We did a lot of research on it and took several months to make our decision, but we just felt like having an entire house system for the money was much better bang for our buck than just buying a water machine for our sink. And plus, the one that we had been using didn't even eliminate the fluoride. You had to have a separate filter for that and such. And so we feel like we found what made the most sense to us, and we're getting that put in place here real soon. So we're thankful and grateful for that. So any other questions that any of you want to put out? I think I've maybe kind of wrapped up for this evening. I'm not sure what the takeaways are. Maybe there weren't any. Maybe that's just me rambling about life. I was trying to think, did I even really have clarity of what I wanted to share, or what I wanted to say, or what the point of tonight was? But I love doing life with you all, and I love just, in a way, having a discussion sometimes. Sometimes, I almost wish like we could just have gatherings at my house and everybody could just come over and we could just sit and visit in the living room. I love that kind of stuff. How are my teeth? They're doing great. You can see right there, that's where I had the root canal taken out, and I don't plan to put anything in there, as my naturopath has recommended that I leave that open so that the meridians flow correctly and are never inhibited again, because in his 30 years of treating cancer patients, the number one trigger for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma he discovered was root canals. So please do not get root canals, and please get your root canals removed. Go do your own research, but it's a serious deal. We're having to change toothpaste, Caroline just recently informed me of, and she'd have to tell you why. There's an ingredient we discovered in the toothpaste we were using that we thought was good, and it's no longer on the approved list. So Julie says, when is the next discussion? Julie, are you talking about when's the next time I'm going to do a live Wisdom from the Recliner, like volume 17? Or are you meaning like, am I going to have another gathering at my house? I don't know if you live in Tulsa or not, or can you clarify that so I know exactly what you're asking? Wendy, hey, thank you. Yes, I feel as good as I look, so that's the best part. Oh, whoops. Sorry about that, folks. I knocked my own phone out of my hand. Um, okay, you said yes, Julie. So I'm going to assume that you mean when is the next Wisdom from the Recliner? I don't have like a set schedule. Like when I was in Montana, I only did like 2 over a 3-week period. When I'm at home, they tend to be more often than that. It kind of just depends on when I have something on my heart that I want to share or talk about, or if I just kind of feel led, or also just my schedule, or when do I have time that's not taking away or interrupting family time or healing time or something else that's important that I do. So it's Thursday. I'm probably averaging maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times a week. So I like these discussions, and I love sharing my heart, and I love sharing my experience, and I love you guys asking questions, and I love you guys making comments or making statements. I don't have it all figured out. Nobody does. I don't have all the answers. I learn as much from you all as hopefully you learn from me, and I'm just I'm so grateful. It's a good life to live in gratitude. It's a good life to live with a heart of thankfulness. Yes, great reminders, Elizabeth, and I will. Yes, I'm glad you gave me that thought. It triggers the thought that I read a book called The 5 Love Languages, and the 5 Love Language book really is a great book. I recommend it to all people. So you just reminded me of her 2 love languages and a couple of things that I can do, Elizabeth. So thank you. Elva says, "Is there a natural place to go in Montana? I was wondering if it was a special place." It is a special place. We sure loved it. We had never been there before. We got invited by a Facebook friend to come out to Montana, and they are healing from cancer, and they had used this specific naturopath doctor out there that we ended up using as well while we were there. But that was before we found the one here in Tulsa. So technically we could have done everything we did in Montana here in Tulsa, but we'd already planned the trip, and just felt like it was a chance to get away, which it was, and to slow down, which it did. Really give Caroline, my wife, a true break, which totally accomplished that. And it was just very healing. I mean, the pace was slow. You're in tune with nature. The weather was incredible. Seeing, Glacier National Park, Yellowstone. We got to do some really neat things, but we also got to do nothing for days at a time and truly rest our minds, our bodies, our hearts. Our family was with us. The kids said it was the best trip ever, and it was. So I hope that answers your question, Elva. It was just a wonderful trip, very healing in so many ways, and it was neat that I could get treated while I was there so that I could continue making the progress that I want to be making as well. Thank you, Linda. It is amazing, and I'm just grateful that I've made the progress I've made and continue to make, and I'm so humbled by all of you that support me and us on this journey, have contributed to this happening, and I'm just in awe that I could be the patient, that I could be the one that this is happening to, and all I can say is I'm humbled, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, and I just have so much to live for. I want to be here in spite of all the things that frustrate me about planet Earth, in spite of the things that I wish I could change or that I don't like. This is such a beautiful life, and I see the beauty that occurs every day regardless of what is swirling around us. And that's why I don't pay attention to the news. I don't listen to the media. I turn myself off from just about anything that doesn't allow me to continue to believe in my heart that life's amazing, that there is a beauty to planet Earth, and that people are good, and that I want to be here and I want to be a part of this. And it really serves me well, and you may want to think about that yourself. Well, if I'm the man, Debbie, then you're the woman. I love you, and thanks for your awesome friendship, and I'm so glad I met you that night in Dallas at that raw vegan restaurant. Elvis says, my brother-in-law has a very rare form of cancer. Yeah, well, I don't know if you know about our blog, but I think it would be healthy and helpful to anyone to read our blog, to go back from the beginning, day one up until now, and kind of catch up on our story. Caroline did a great job of offering a lot of details as well. I would highly recommend you look into the Greece blood test immediately for him. And I would just say you have more time than you think you have, that it's not going to be healthy to rush into any decisions or to make any decisions that are coming from a place of being uneducated, or from a place of fear, or having someone talk you into something before it's something you know or he knows he truly wants to do. I have been true to myself throughout this entire journey in my decision making regarding treatments and regarding what I allowed to be done to me and what I have done myself, from supplements to IVs to everything. And that doesn't mean I've made all the right decisions. That doesn't mean we've done everything perfectly, but I never allowed myself to be influenced into a decision that I didn't truly want to do and that I didn't feel like I was informed to do. And so I'm not living with any regret, or I'm not second-guessing anything, which I also believe contributes to why I'm healing so well. Yeah. Oh, man, Caroline loves the Olympics, Debbie. We can't wait to tune in and just go into what I call our nothing box and just take in the beauty of the Olympics. Man, they're going to be fantastic. That's on our bucket list for the future as well, is to actually attend the Olympics live and in person. So we're excited to enjoy them, and yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So any final questions? I think I'm going to wrap up for the night. Hug and kiss Caroline. Get ready for bed, and tomorrow is a little special thing. I'm taking my youngest son Arthur, that you saw earlier, for just a little 15-minute kind of opening thing for his school that starts next week. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's going to be fun. He's 4, and going to school full time is going to be kind of a new thing for him and for us. And gosh, there's just always these new phases of life that are coming at us. And like I said, sometimes you got to call a timeout and go, okay, how am I going to handle these new phases, or these new challenges, or even new exciting things that are coming about? Oh, and guys, I got to tell you, I won't share all the details yet because I don't know all of them, but I couldn't go without sharing this incredible opportunity that happened. I got a call. I got to be on a conference call, gosh, I guess it was yesterday, with someone who is a very well-known author, speaker, has had an incredible career, someone that I looked up to even 15 years ago when I first thought about ever being a speaker or writing books or sharing content. And something has come together, and I'm being asked to speak and share my story on opening night of a really big event that's going to be happening this fall. And guys, I'm just thrilled. It's going to be an incredibly special night. So I'm looking forward to that, and obviously I'll share more as I learn more. Melissa says, Ryan, they've given my cousin anywhere from days to weeks to live. She has breast cancer and has tumors in her brain. She has done chemo. Is there anything you know of that can help? Oh, man. these are tough questions. First off, I'm not a doctor. Caroline's not a doctor. You know, oh man, yeah. Man, this can be heavy. These can feel like weighted, and I know that you're not necessarily expecting me to like have answers, but at the same time, I wish I had more than I feel like I have. You know, I think in some cases, to be just brutally honest, Melissa, I think in some cases maybe it's just like it's at the end. But then I think in other cases, I mean, I've met people I see where people were given days to weeks to live, and then somehow they found a treatment, or they found some treatments, or they met someone, or a miracle occurred, and all of a sudden it just turned around for them, and they were literally on their deathbed, and then here they were alive, 5 years later or 12 years later. So it's like, at the same time, it's like, I guess it's never over till it's over, and I don't know exactly where to direct you. My first thought is that you could get a phone consultation with my naturopath doctor, Dr. Taylor, here in Tulsa, and set up a time where you could have a consultation with him over the phone. I'm sure there'll be a small charge for that. And I really think he would be better suited to learn specifically about the exact situation that she is in, Melissa, and actually be able to give any more specific guidance or directions or how to act accordingly. So it's Marion Medical, Dr. Michael Taylor. Just Google it, look it up, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Call their office, tell them that I referred you, and I would get a phone consultation with him. I trust him. I think he's the only one that solved my fluid problem in 8 months. I'm trusting him with my father's guidance, and he's very smart and he's very kind. And I think that that's where I would go. I would talk to Dr. Michael Taylor. Call tomorrow, Marion Medical. They're open from 9 to noon. Get a phone consultation set up with him. And then feel free to interact with me anytime. Message me and let me know how that goes. But I don't want to try to answer. I don't want to try to, my wife and I are still learning. We've learned some things, but in that critical of a situation, I think you would be best to talk to him. So anyway, guys, I love you all. Wisdom from the Recliner, Volume 16. We were just discussing life tonight. Enjoy life, live in grace, just love yourself, let go, enjoy the mystery of planet Earth, and just know that if you can get to a place where you no longer need a certain outcome, or a certain result, or a certain circumstance to occur in order to confirm what you already know is true, you will find much more peace. You will enjoy a lot more joy and happiness, and life will be much better. You're right. Go Cardinals. Have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.